Bonjour. I'll try and make this a quick video, and it stems from discussions that I've had or talking to people, or I give a yoga course, for example, and in the yoga course we've talked about meditation, and when I talk about meditation as I now understand meditation, so when I talk about meditation as not a practice but a state, it's a condition. It's not something you do. I see the chasm between how I see the condition of meditation, so the condition of being in what they call blissful peace, or describe it however you want, and what people are doing to try and get to this position, which is a position you don't have to get to because there's nowhere to go, there's nothing to do, there's no way to get there. It's always there, in other words. It's always been there. And I was the same in the beginning when I started doing meditation years ago. I did all the right things, read all the books, sat in the right positions, and now I understand it completely differently. So it's a video to try and point out, from my point of view only, what you're aiming for, which is also, all words are bad when it comes to meditation. Go and look at my music video, World Away. If I speak, then I know that the words can't express what I'm trying to say, and if I'm silent because I'm a world away. He who speaks does not know, he who knows does not speak. So instead of people going through the torment of years and years of thinking, well, I've got my foot in the wrong position, maybe I'm not, all of that kind of rubbish, veg, get rid of all of that. So it's about this, and as far as I'm concerned, it's a perceptive thing, right? So it's a point of view, or and I don't mean an opinion, I mean it's a viewpoint, it's a perspective that you have on this particular thing, and that widens itself into the whole of your life, basically. And the perspective is, from Advaita Vedanta point of view, that there is an apparent world, this world, right? So right to the ends of the universe, this world, all the way down to here, all the way to my skin, all the way to my body, my brain, and the thoughts and emotions that appear in my brain, because all of that is Namarupa, all of that is name and form. This is Maya, this is what appears to be real, or is perceived to be, it's a perception. What it actually looks like is debatable, but it appears to us, at least, to look like this. And it's made up of what appears to be matter, stuff. Okay, so it's stuff with a name and form. So it's form, and I'm going to call that form a cup, a plate, Rob, whatever, Steve, pub, pint, fag, and all these kind of things. All of these things are forms that we give names to, and what they really are is debatable, right? But Advaita would say it's illusory, right? Or it's not an hallucination, meaning it's not actually there. It is there, but it's not what it looks like. So you've got a world of name and form, and everything is name and form, including my thoughts and my feelings. And the partner to name and form, to perception, is the perceiver, right? So that's sending something, name and form is doing something, and a receiver or perceiver is observing it going on. I compare it with quantum physics with the wave function collapse. You know, before the particle is measured, it's potentially almost anywhere. It's, you know, it's somewhere here. And it could be anywhere there. It could be in a superposition of two places at once. But as soon as you make a measurement, the particle appears to be there. And this, you know, there are scientists who would say this world functions in the same way, that it's, you know, the universe is in a superposition, or things in the universe are in a superposition, and it's only when a measurement is made or an observer makes an observation that the waveform collapses and it becomes the way it appears to be. Also doesn't matter. The point of view is this world is name and form. There's some stuff doing stuff. It's events that are happening, yeah? Happenings going on, including happenings. My skin is flaking off, I'm producing new skin, my organs are doing the same inside, my brain is doing stuff. It's happenings, events. But there is also the perceiver who observes the happening. This point of view, this perspective, allows you to use every single one of those things as a trigger now for a very simple question, which is what Vedanta sort of does. Vedanta has a system of self-inquiry where you inquire about the things you know all the way back until you reach the inevitable point where you realize, and then there's consciousness that perceives it all. Right? So your own little piece of consciousness, your little piece of consciousness that you think you have, perceives all of this. So the point of view you have is there's a world of happenings, events going on, and there's a perceiver. So Vedanta is the direct way, the short and straight path. And there can't be anything shorter and straighter as far as I can see, and in my experience, my practice, than asking the one simple straight question. That whenever any of these events happens anywhere, so I'm sitting, light is coming in, there's light coming through the window, it's an event, it's a perception. Who or what is perceiving the light? I'm sitting, my foot is pressing on the floor, my foot's pressing on the floor, that's an event. Who or what is perceiving that event? I'm breathing, I can hear my breath. Who or what is hearing the breath? I have a thought in my head, oh, I've got to go to the shop and get some milk. Who or what is having that thought? I have a feeling of anger about the dog that actually bit me yesterday. It did. Who or what is perceiving that anger? And that question, who or what, will focus you, bring your focus immediately to the thing. In much the same way that right at the moment you're not thinking about it, okay? But as soon as I say it, your focus goes to it. Focus on your left shoulder blade. And your focus immediately goes to your left shoulder blade. Before, it was non-existent. Now your focus has immediately gone there. And the same thing happens in this case. You have all of these events, including the ones in your body, and every event can be used as a trigger to say who or what is perceiving that event. And the answer is presence. And so you immediately go to presence and just stay there. And as soon as your brain wanders again, your mind wanders, or you hear a sound or anything else, okay, that's fine. Instead of getting annoyed with that, you ask yourself again, who or what heard that sound? Who or what had that thought? Straight back to presence. This did. And you keep doing that over and over again. And eventually, you don't really need anything else. You just go, who or what? And you land at presence. And then you stay there and examine presence. Just sit and feel what it feels like. Does it have a name? How big is it? What colour is it? You know? Because all of those things are only available or present in the avatar. This is this. Rob, 58 years old, blah, 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 blah. Born in, mum and dad are, trained in this, did that. That's the avatar. It's like in a video game, right? The avatar runs around doing stuff, and that's what you're caught in every single day. But everything the avatar experiences, because it is a name and a form, and it is a series of events just like everything else, is perceived by the presence, apparently, inside the avatar, this presence that has certain qualities, which I'm not going to talk about, so you can go and investigate that yourself. But you'll find certain qualities of this thing. But the avatar is just an avatar. That's not you. It's name and form. It's a series of things doing stuff. It's a bunch of events that point to a perceiver of the events, which is what you think is your own little personal Atman, your own little personal piece of consciousness. In actual fact, that too is an illusion, apparently, and the Atman is nothing other than a isolated, or not isolated, a sort of localized point of a greater thing, which is Brahman. So all there is Brahman, all there is consciousness, and one little part of that consciousness, if you like, it thinks it's one little part, and it's surrounded, enveloped in an avatar, right? And it thinks it's in this world doing stuff. That's what it thinks. What it's actually observing is the activity of consciousness arising in Brahman, in the universal consciousness, just events going on, like being in a quantum field, and you could see the quantum field being active, and particles appear, disappear. Some of them stay a bit longer, some of them stay long and make forms, and then they go away again. That's what all this world does. And you think, oh, I'm this little bit of consciousness looking at that. But the bigger picture is you are the field, and this is the activity in the field that you are observing. That's all debatable, and you can, people can speculate about that. That can be discussed, but definitely there are a whole series of events going on, and there seems to be a perceiver of the events that is other than the events themselves. And when you go there, it has certain qualities, and one of those qualities is the very thing that people do meditation for, and people desperately want, which is peace and quiet. They want internal peace. But you can't stop. They want us. This is the thing I had at one of the yoga sessions. People saying, how do I stop my thoughts? How do I stop my feelings from annoying me? You don't. That's what they do. I think it was Sadhguru who said, would you like to stop your heart beating? Why would you want to do that? It's what a heart does. A brain thinks and produces emotions. Let it do that. But you, Atman, Brahman, don't have to get mixed up in it and be the avatar. Ooh, oh God. You separate yourself from that. Okay, well, do that, fine. Do your stuff. I'm not interested. I'm going to be here. Yeah, and you let them carry on. It's the position, it's the value that you put on those emotions and those thoughts that makes them so persistent. If you see them for what they are, as just simply events, happenings in the world, and not even disturbing events, but events that allow me to go, oh, it's an event, then this is the perceiver of it. Then they become useful things. And you don't have to distance yourself from them or stop them, because you're already in presence, and they're irrelevant. They're still there going on, but you're not there, you're here. And eventually you visit the place over and over again. You think it's really nice, and you stay there a bit longer because it's really comfortable, and you stay there a bit, and eventually you decide, actually, this is really nice, I want to move in. And so you move in and you stay there a lot of the time. And that's why I say meditation is not sitting doing this kind of thing. It's a condition, it's a state, because you realise then, all right, so every single thing I do every day, like while I'm doing my job, washing my hands, cleaning potatoes, putting the bin out, changing my socks, or anything, all of that is events that I can automatically use to go straight back to presence. So I don't have to sit down and meditate. Everything I do is a meditation. In fact, eventually it'll just become, everything is just meditation. Everything is done in presence. And all of that is events arising in presence. So it's that sort of perspective. Generally, of life, that I think is useful, applied then to meditation, to the condition, and it makes getting into the state of presence a lot easier, because you use that world of name or form to immediately springboard you to, so you immediately go from Namarupa, immediately springboarded or shot to, catapulted to Anamarupa, no name, no form. Looking out at the world of name and form. Every single event that you do every day, even if you're locked in a room on your own, every single breath that you take, every move you make, and so on. Every event is an opportunity to catapult yourself straight into presence. That's the way I see it. And then just stay in presence as long as you like, and integrate that into your day, and that's your meditation. It's that simple, really. It really isn't difficult. It's not rocket science. Because rocket science is rocket science.